So before she goes back to uni and you steal her again, I thought I would take over because she did 10 facts, although it was 9 because she can't count or maths. So I thought I would do facts about me. So this is me drawing my life. Let's start where it all began. I was born on a farm in a day where it was really cold and there was white stuff falling from the sky in a stable where they have those half doors. And I was kept in with my brothers and sisters in between those big boxes of dried grass that are like little sticks that you can chew and play with. And then there were 4 people that came, and the one with the really big messy hair is my own Elodie, and she was the most excited, and they absolutely loved us all because we're so cool. That little one in the corner at the bottom is the really fluffy one that had. And I was best friends with all of my brothers and sisters, but they did get a little bit annoying sometimes. And I had to tell them exactly what needed to be done because they weren't listening to Mummy because Mummy was busy with the owner and I didn't really know her that well. So sometimes they'd get into fights and it was my job to tell them to stop it because it was silly. And that's what made my Mummy and my Auntie Emma decide that they wanted me because I was a really nice bright chocolate one and the others were dark chocolate like normal chocolate labs. But as we know, I'm not normal. However, there was a problem. Someone else wanted to take me away. So Elodie and Auntie Emma were very sad, but they decided to choose another one, which made me sad because I thought I was the best, but that's probably why someone else wanted me. So then, one day, there was a ring on the phone, and the owner was calling, and what did she have to say? Well, they gave my owner and Auntie Emma the best news they've ever had in all of their years, dog years and human years included. She said that actually they could have me because apparently Mummy didn't like me very much because I was very bossy and nosy and I follow everyone around and I always want to know what's going on. So they arrived in this big machine that made a sort of boom boom noise and I'd never seen one. I didn't like it. It was very loud. Don't like it. Don't like it. Still don't like it. To make matters worse, what they then did was they put me in a box. I could see through it and I could smell everyone around me and they were all saying good girl, but I didn't like it and they were saying good girl, so I thought I would show them that actually I wasn't being good and I didn't like it and I was not going to put up with this. So I showed them what my breakfast was and I think that taught them, and then I just started crying, so because the disgusting card didn't work, so I thought maybe the guilty card would work and I'd get my way that way. When we got there, it was a big house, and the first one is my owner's room, the second one was the study, and the other one's the lounge, and the top one is Auntie Emma and Uncle David's room, and I live in every single one. I'm allowed in every room in the house because I'm the best. But the first few nights they put me in a cage, and they call it a crate and they make it justified because it's not called a cage. When I cried all night, and I cried for my mummy, and they wouldn't let me out in case that I did anything silly or ruined anything. But now I'm trained, so I get to sleep on the bed with my owner, and I have the big side, she has the small side, and then I also have an extra bed underneath. I fulfil many roles around the house like many working dogs. So when my owner had her first boyfriend round, then I decided I would say hello to him as well, but I would show him who was boss, and I jumped up to say hello, and instead of going where I normally go, I went a little bit lower, and apparently for the ones that are boys it hurts a bit more than for the other ones. So they were not happy, and then I did it 2 other occasions on the 2 next ones he came round, but he didn't get the message, so I decided to leave it. Then this other time I was having fun at school with all of my doggy friends because my Auntie Emma takes me to school and then we go dog walking. And I was racing my friends and I decided that I would be so fast and I would check on them every 2 seconds to see if they'd caught up. But I didn't really look where I was going and ended up in a tree. So I had to be taken to the vet where I was whining a lot, but apparently there was nothing wrong with me. every now and then my owner leaves for a whole 8 weeks to go and study, and then when she comes back she only complains about studying more, so I don't see why she goes. And it makes me really sad, and I try and sleep in her bed when she's not here, but it's just too lonely, so I sleep with other people or in the kitchen, but with the door open, and not in a cage. And then she comes back after 8 weeks, and it's like I've seen her for the first time again, and we have lots of playtime, and she takes me out for walks, and I love it. And that's my life so far. Yes. I would draw my life for you, but I'm afraid it's nowhere near as interesting as the dogs, as you'll find out when I do my day in the life of when I get back to uni, which is tomorrow. So next week I'll have a day in the life of video up for you or something along those lines. And the last thing the dog would like to tell you is to please subscribe and thumbs up for more. I am possessed by the devil. Okay, so this comes from a story when I was about 2.5 at nursery school, maternelle as it was called because it was in France, and the teachers, after a school trip, called up my parents and said, we need you to come in. We need you to come in now because we need to tell you something about your daughter and we think it's urgent. So bearing in mind this was a very religious school, I mean the teachers were practically almost nuns.